Hello, everybody. How we doing today? I hope you're doing well. Why is Yondis up there? What is Yondis doing? That's weird. Let's just get rid of him.
That is weird.
That is really weird. Just Yondis.
Yeah.
Hold up. How do I?
And we're in the wrong order.
No, that part I can fix. That's just because I wasn't looking at your faces.
I think that's just Cell wishing he was me. I get it.
I mean,
Okay.
you know what?
Eventually, this could be you.
You've
This
had
is
better
like-
luck in this game than I've had so far since it started.
I wouldn't go that far. I feel like I've rolled pretty bad.
I haven't rolled much better.
I mean, what was it? 3 natty ones last session.
True.
That's beautiful.
Nick, I've been telling you for I don't know, years how I was taller than you, and right now, looks like proof to me. How you doing down there?
I mean, I could just start raising my desk. Makes me shorter. Do you feel better now? Do you feel like a bigger man?
What the,
Are you good?
fuck?
Are you good?
I did not expect that. You heard the engine going too? Oh my god, that's hilarious.
That's pretty good.
Oh
Yeah.
God, that's amazing. All
That's
right.
that sweet, sweet home office money.
All right. All right. Well, never mind. I just gotta shut up and start DMing. Do your job.
God. Let's do this, boys.
All right, Jake, you want to give us a last time on? Want to cue us back in as to what happened last session so we can jump into the fun?
I wasn't really involved in last session, so
That's
I might
why
open
you
up
need
some
to
of
be
the
involved
walls.
now. We need, listen, Vikings
No,
guys.
Tell me where we started off, and I'll take it from there.
Last session you started off with, you had just defeated the people in clan Shado and had rejoined back to your own clan and started having a meeting.
Yes, and,
You know, one that
from
you weren't
meeting,
a part of in your own kingdom
Yeah.
with all of your advisors, but you weren't a part of it.
Shut up. All right, so we had a meeting and we decided we would we would be retaking Nick's city back, and we came up with a plan to lure some of the people still in the city, lure them out to thin the numbers of the people left, which we did, and we completed successfully. And then Tessel's brother was to go into the forest and provoke the halfling people, Hafuways, and he never came back. So, you know, we all got a bit worried, but we had to press on. So we decided to go on the attack against Nick's city, which proved to be very difficult. We had people inside working to rally the people. Valiant Mr. Lightspear and his merry men.
Who was that?
Tried twice.
Whoa.
Mr. Lightspear. I think his name was B.
Buddy?
Lightspear.
Buddy, right?
That's the one.
Didn't you change his name officially
Who?
Who?
to like
What?
Coco or whatever?
Oh, Coco Lightspear? Coco Light?
Yeah, Coco. Yeah, sure. Is that like alcohol?
Coco, but he's my buddy.
No, it's Coco Light. It's all good.
Coco, like,
I don't know why you all hated on Buddy. Like, I actually...
Buddy did
it gave
well.
him character. I
why
liked
do we-
Buddy's
wh-
Lightspear. I don't know about Hoko Lightspear, but Buddy
maybe
Lightspear
because
was a good
Buddy
dude.
Lightspear
He's
got
someone
on
you
the
could
fucking
meet up at
battlefield
the
for
pub,
5
sink a
seconds
few
and
cold
fail.
ones, and he would enjoy it. You would enjoy it.
Yeah, he
But,
came out
yeah,
onto the
he,
battlefield.
He might have stayed at the pub a bit too long.
Yeah,
To be clear, out of the 4 people on this call right now, Jake is the biggest proponent of Bud Light. I mean, you have Nick and I that wouldn't touch it if we had to, and you have Cell who can't touch it because And
Scott, what's going on with the word cunt? I mean, I've allowed it 1,500 times.
no,
and
that's literally just Twitch. Twitch will always have that. Every stream, it'll have to be re-allowed. That's just how it goes because it's considered such an offensive word in so many countries that that's how it is. The simple fact of the matter is, Twitch doesn't like Australia. Done. That's it. That's it.
Pretty much. It is oppressing our culture a little bit. Just a little bit.
Yeah, I know.
So
it makes me think
got you, Viking.
Stop! I'm being oppressed.
We eventually took back the city, though, barely, and we're gonna pick up, I guess, with either that or my kingdom rolls, which are also due.
Not due yet.
Like 3 days till.
Yeah, you have a few days until that's actually officially due. In which case, then you'll get a good old, when that happens, because things are gonna go so well for you. We also had when we do the
That's
kingdom
ominous.
rolls.
I don't like that at all.
We also had I think it was Josh was trying to challenge me in the amount of time that it took for us to do kingdom rolls last time. And I was like, excuse me. The first kingdom rolls were done by Cell, and he's never played this game before. And the second were done by Nick, and he's never played before. And they went much faster than Cell's. Dare I say less than 10 minutes. He's like, nah, it's still like 45 minutes. I was like, no, it wasn't. So, Jake, you got to be zippity-doo-dah, zippity-day, despite the fact that we're going to over-explain them because it's each kingdom's first time doing it. And then we'll...
That's a lot of pressure. I feel like it should go slower so Nick and Cell can then, rewatch it again for next time.
Listen, we need to prove why Josh is wrong. Can we do that?
Josh is always wrong.
All right, let's do it.
He's the oldest one here.
Well, he's also not here at the moment. He's streaming, so...
He is.
Yeah.
In the entire community, the only people older than myself are Josh, Shinny, and Norway. That's it. Everybody else is younger. So
Who's
Josh, he is Unfunny One. Oh, you know Josh.
Oh, whatever. He's short.
He's so short.
Sorry,
so
Jake.
short. Oh,
I almost... The carbonated drink went down my throat and I almost laughed and it was going to be bad.
oh, it's funny. All right. All right. Let us... You guys can't see the redeems. Just refresh your browser if you're seeing them. They're not there now. So back to you guys. Why don't we... So where we left off, you guys had literally just had Hoko, Lightspear, nicknamed Buddy to his friends. Hoko had just led a group of your soldiers to fight valiantly and did such a good job. Mm-hmm. It's incredible performance. We also last time had a hype train that went to level 5, and because of hype train level 5, there's a bit of a reward that was voted for and is going over to Nick. We'll see if that reward makes itself present this session based off of role-playing and so on and so forth. Speaking of role-playing, let's actually bring it into the campaign. So when the dust settles, the battle's over, the last of the soldiers have either retreated to a point where it's not worth hunting them down or chasing them down, or have surrendered and have thrown up their arms and submitted to your mercy. You find that there are a considerable number of soldiers still alive and left behind, which is fairly normal. As to what it is you want to do with those soldiers, I think that's still entirely on the table. But more important than that are a select few people that happen to be left behind. Thrown down onto the ground, you have a certain interesting individual, somebody who you guys encountered only but 20 days or whatever it was beforehand, 20-something days beforehand, with a very unique introduction to one another in Clan Densho's home. That man, having unfortunately surrendered, or at least the soldiers around him surrendering, and so being submitted to your mercy, is left there with the person that commanded the actual troop of soldiers that was with them, as well as a couple of the other lieutenants that would have been like the under commands. Because as you can imagine, there's not one person shouting commands on a battlefield, right? You have the person that is actually commanding them, and then their lieutenants that would be the ones that would kind of like push those commands further in the subcategories of each army. Subcategories which we'll learn about better in future sessions. So you have 4 people that have lived that are of note, that have submitted to your mercy. as the three of you dismounting or just walking up or however it may be, going to join to where they are held captive. One of those, let me know when they're held, like let me know where they are sort of situation. Your characters think like the cinematic scene where, what's his name there? Most likely Kushibashi Narin would have been there first, having been alerted first as to where they are because of it's his town, it's his people that are there. And so he would have made his way over, of course, with Hoko standing there by their side. The other two probably walking in together, somewhat congratulating each other for a performance in the battle. I don't know how much you guys would get into that sort of a thing. And then joining with Kushibashi Narin to where these prisoners are held. Nick, as to where the prisoners are being held currently, even though they were held up inside of the buildings that we discussed beforehand, your barracks, jail, and watchtower, I believe you had all as like one block. And even though they were held there, they are no longer being held in inside. They're kind of brought outdoors where they can be seen before the considerable number of people around. Even though it's what time of year did I say it was originally? It was springtime, right? With it being springtime and being so close to the Eldamar as you are, which is a tropical rainforest, or it's a forest that has like a tropical area in the northern parts of it. It's of no surprise at the tail end of the battle, the clouds started to open up and rain started to fall. And now in the scene that we have here, you have the rain coming down pretty heavily. Being a town that's not incredibly great in size, you don't really have much by way of cobblestone or paved roads by any stretch. So each drop falling of the rain causes a little bit of splash in the mud down below. The earth being churned up from the battlefield, the soldiers marching to and fro. Some of that splashing mud having a bit of a crimson look to it, considering the number of bodies that are still about being dragged away to be sorted and dealt with accordingly. We can get into those traditions shortly. There you are, looking down at them being filled in and how it was that they were captured by Hoko, as your two very recently made companions are joining with you on either side. You guys see the men on the ground. To be clear, it would be, I believe it's 3 men and a woman that are on the ground. Nope. 2 men, 2 women are on the ground. Oh, speaking of women, how you doing? How you doing? You want to say hi to Nick? She said no.
That hurts. That hurts me.
He says it hurts him.
I want pancakes.
She just laughed and he yelled he wants pancakes. That's it? No, nothing? Okay. Wow.
Your wife owes me pumpkin pancakes. It's been a while.
It has been a while, hasn't it? I haven't had pumpkin pancakes in a long time. Britt, we're putting in an order for pumpkin pancakes. I couldn't hear a response. I imagine it was something along the lines of this.
Yeah,
yeah.
Seems legit.
Yeah. Anyways, so back to you guys with the scene set, the rain falling, the mud splattering beneath its the weight of the rain, them walking up to either side of you. Hoko kind of finishing off the conversation. I'll even throw you the last sentence of the conversation, saying, I tried to keep a bunch of the people back, but everybody's interested to see what happens here. Word is spread about what happened in Clan Densho. The soldiers talking.
I mean, right off the bat, I mostly just want a situation report of what's going on. I don't really care about, the prisoners or captured soldiers.
So as for the immediate report, everything's being, again, like pretty much everybody that can be captured without sending out huge scouting parties to go grab like a couple of fleeing people, which you're talking like maybe 24 got away out of the hundreds, sorry, over 1,000, whatever it was that was here. Out of all of them, maybe like 24 got away. It's not worth hunting those down. So kind of like there's some that got away. It's deemed not worthy unless you say otherwise for us to go hunting them down, and blah 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 blah, as I've already said.
So just getting affairs in order, making sure my treasury's intact, the food stores are good, start immediately arranging for a search party for the missing general, or the other missing army. So that's a concern.
So it's probably as the two of you are walking up, you hear him saying, "We need a search party put together to send into the Eldamar," and this is literally what you're hearing Shado as he walks up. Go ahead.
Yes, we need to arrange a search party to. I forget your brother's name. I can't remember. He's
Naito.
Naito.
Mm-hmm.
War
Yes.
Chief Naito.
For War Chief Softy Pants. It's too nice. He's a nice guy. I don't know. Shouldn't be a war chief.
Wow.
Yeah. So we gotta send a search party out for them because they were here assisting us. So we need to do what we can. Round everyone up. Basically, kind of turtle up, and get stock of everything. Is that honey?
It is. There's only a little bit of honey left, and I don't have. Brittany didn't bring me a spoon to scoop it out, so I'm putting burning hot tea in there to hopefully melt the honey and then pour liquid honey tea back into my thing. I'm just burning my fingers right now. It's all good.
Awesome.
It won't all come out though.
As you say that, Tessa will nod at you and like showing respect for you, immediately like going out to make sure you look for his brother, his war chief.
And Varix will acknowledge you and then continue walking past towards old mate.
Okay. So you continue walking past towards, and you see the 4 prisoners on the ground.
Yeah, so I'll walk up to Fauquois.
Mm-hmm. Fauquois. Mm-hmm.
Fauquois.
And
Okay. Yeah.
are they standing or are they on there?
They're held down. So like, as the rain's coming down, it's splattering all over them. So like I said, you have there. Go ahead and roll me a warlords check. Knowledge. This is knowledge warlords check. This is all of you can for if you choose to queue in. Awesome. So it's Kushibashi Nara, and that would know a bit more. So you obviously know who Fauquois is. You would be able to tell the two of you by the way that they're. One of the women is dressed by like the quality of gear that she has on her, and like the symbols and whatnot that she carries, that this is clearly, she is the commander of this military, if not maybe the general of the entire nation that she came from. She definitely seems to have higher stature. The other gentleman that you don't know and the other woman that you don't know seem to be the lieutenants that were amongst the group. Anyway, so you go walking up and you see Fauquois there with the other 2.
Yeah, I'll kind of take a knee and say, Fauquois, didn't think you'd be seeing us again so soon, did you? Well, you came to my home under the guise of peaceful talks, and you endeavor to poison myself and the other 2, and then attack all of our cities. Who are you working with in Clan Densha?
I want you guys to all roll me a sense of motive real quick, but I want the 2 of you in back, because you guys are having your own side conversation that wasn't involved in this, to roll the -5. You can either do head math after you roll it or apply it to miscellaneous before you do.
So I'm a 15.
Okay. So I have a question, Scott.
Okay, yeah.
I'm assuming I failed that, right? This sensitive roll, so I would get the -2 from my trait, right? Would you consider me failing that knowledge warlords, or
No, you did not get like a ton of information. I would call that a fail.
Yeah, okay. I want to check on that one.
Gotcha. So and this is in reference to, I believe, the Yeah, self-doubting. The first time each day that you fail a will saving throw or a skill check, you take a -2 penalty on the next will saving throw or a skill check of that kind. So it's a failed sense motive, just to be sure.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. So I think to some degree that only matters if it becomes relevant. So if there's something that pops up that makes you realize that, oh, I should have known that. God damn it. You know. But if you never know that you didn't know, then it wouldn't really apply. But let's keep going. So that's going to be a 15 for Verix and Kushibashi. Verix and Naren. But unfortunately, Shadow's way behind. The two of you guys here, as Jake or Verix is starting this explanation, so what it was you had done down there, you know, blah, blah, blah. As you hear that, you can actually see shifting a bit uncomfortably from this. You could actually see the female commander general, whatever she is. You see her shifting a bit uncomfortably. Shadow doesn't notice this. Moving on. You say, who within the Densho clan are you working with? And he says, I didn't need to work with anybody.
Okay, I stand up and I kick him in the face.
Keep him fresh. He owes Tessel a duel.
Yes. I was about to mention as well. Try not to harm him too much. I want him to be able to duel me properly. Barracks.
Yeah, I still kick him in the face as hard as I can.
I mean, you're welcome to do so. He's bound and everything, so it's effectively like what is it? He's like pinned because of like how he's like roped up or whatever, right? So
Yeah.
you can actually, it's like a almost like a coup de grace but with non-lethal damage. So that means you automatically critical hit.
Yeah. I don't know if you want me to roll damage. I don't know.
Yeah, it's for an unarmed strike, it's 1d3 plus strength. Then because it's times 2 because critical hit.
Just insta kill him, with a kick to the face.
It's coup de grace, so an instant knockout if he fails his Constitution save.
Jeez.
So holy, you have a +5. Oh Jesus! So it's 12 points of damage.
Oh, jeez.
Oh my God! And when you're dealing with a coup de grace, Coupde. Oh Jesus! Okay, apparently coup doesn't find anything. That's Pathfinder coup de grace. Coup de grace. Let's see. Coup de grace, 4-round action. Pronounce helpless. You automatically hit and score a critical hit. So it's fortitude save, DC 10 plus damage dealt. Jesus, it's a high fortitude save. Jesus, I thought it was lower than that. Oh my God, he has to beat a 22 fortitude save. All right. Where would he have that?
It has begun.
Wow. So we have crit fumbles, right?
Yeah.
You just break his neck.
Well, he's unconscious. He might not be alive. It's one of those things where you kick him in the face so hard, you hear a loud, sickening snack. It's like snap, crack, right? And then he goes immediately limp and flops to the side, face down.
I think you killed the fop.
I'll wave you guys over because you aren't as close as I am, and I kind of look over to the general and I'll say, we in Clan Densho still practice the old ways. Why do you think it was us that was chose to guard the border from our brothers? Maybe you'd like to tell me. Who in Clan Densho was he working with?
And you said this to who?
The general.
She hearing that sickening crack and seeing him flop to the ground. She's obviously intimidated. Like there's no getting around the fact that that definitely was a pretty hefty whack and definitely would have rattled pretty much anybody that was there. Let me actually just make a check real quick against the intimidation of that. Okay. So she's clearly intimidated, you know what I mean? But not like to the point where she's not able to kind of keep her senses and everything together. And she actually says, I'm not sure if you'll believe me, but I don't know. I didn't have a hand in this. I didn't want a hand in this.
Why are you?
What is your rank?
Sorry. So you say, what is your rank? So more or less, as Wesley starts to say something, you clearly further up and louder, barking it out. What is your rank? She says, I'm the general of the, I forget the clan's name, scrolling to her. I'm the Zinquin. Yep. I'm the general of the Zinquin clan.
I'll look to Naren as he spoke, if you wanted to reiterate what he said.
Yeah. Why are you here, General?
This was a proposed, shall we say, opportunity in Zinquin. We had put it to a vote, as we sometimes do, in our clan. It was an almost universal vote that these would be the actions that we took. And since it was voted on that, it was my responsibility to oversee that things went well. If I'm going to be honest with you, as much as I perhaps didn't like the plan, since it was my responsibility to see that things went well, I requested 3 times this number of soldiers. As a clan that is placed on the border of each of those nations should not be underestimated simply because of its size. Unfortunately, they did not listen to me on either account. And she looks down at the man flopped over, limp in the ground, face down in the dirt, and says, and here we are.
Tessa
Naren.
Oh, go.
Tessa
go
would
ahead.
gesture you guys over to have a huddle basically to whisper to each other. I propose we offer her life and her agreements to to testify against her clan, to prove the crimes they have committed, to guarantee that our case is successful.
Between the sound of the heavy downpour and the distance to some small degree that you stepped aside, you can imagine that nobody's really able to hear this.
All right. I want to know what her vote is first. What was her vote in that vote?
I think she said she was against it.
She never explicitly said so, but she made that pretty clear.
Yes,
That was
I
Matt. I would
want
keep
her-
going.
Yes. Yeah. I want her to acknowledge it.
Yes, I think we should move her away from the other two. Question both of them separately. Have maybe some of your advisors take over that while we focus on her. She seems to be, or at least willing to speak, whether it be truths or falsities. We don't know. I apologize, Tessa. I sometimes get carried away. Chishibochi if you would have one of your healers take a look at him, I don't know if he's alive.
He can drown in the mud.
There's no shame. My honor was never challenged. It was just to be bolstering my name.
He nods and he says, drown in the mud he will. Like the worm that he is.
Yes.
There's a nod of agreement.
General, speak your name.
My name is Karzug Metahina. Actually, no, take that back. She says, my name is Zinquin Karzug Metahina.
Come, let's talk.
One of the other soldiers goes over and hoists her out of the mud and kind of drags her along. I think they're trying to have another level 5 hype train to affect you guys. If you guys do so again, can this time, if you guys go this whole gambit and you're gonna vote for who it is, can we just give it to Nick again? Just keep the trend going. That'd be great.
I mean, awesome. I support this.
Yeah,
I do.
Just keep the trend going. Nobody else needs it, right? Good. There you go. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, obviously.
I'm assuming we would know what a Metahina is, right? Or at least I would.
Yes, you definitely would know what a Metahina is. I think one of the other two of you have a Metahina in your... No, you're the only one with a Metahina in your leadership. So
I don't think I have a Metahina, do I?
You two would actually have to roll a knowledge history or knowledge, specifically nobility check to see if you know what a Medahina is.
History, did you say?
History or nobility, one of those two.
Do I have either?
No.
All right.
Once more with feeling.
Okay, so that's anybody else able to roll or?
Just two of them. I already know.
Oh, my apologies. You're correct. I would say neither of them know what Medahina means. Nope.
I guess when we're walking back, I would. Do you know what a Medahina is for the parent?
You can imagine she's being dragged, maybe a good like 20 feet behind the three of you as you're walking to whatever. And you feel free to set the stage, Nick, and where in your kingdom you want to go to, but where in your town you want to go to. But as you're walking through the rains and get to some place where you can have a bit more of a private meeting. Continue.
We'll probably we'll go to the garrison.
Okay.
Do you two know what a Medahina is for the parent? What it means?
I do not.
No.
It means she's the youngest born in her family, and thus her family has abandoned her and not given her their name, and she has to, I believe, prove herself to get a second name.
Once more with feeling.
I guess she's chosen to do that here in Kajinxi.
You're plucking at my fucking heartstrings, you son of a bitch.
I'm letting you know so you're fully informed.
Once more with feeling.
That's like my deal. Ugh. Shit.
I do not care whether she is a Medahina or
The fact of the matter is, I don't know. She's hopefully behind us while we have a private talk. The fact of the matter is, the plan was executed flawlessly, regardless of taste or honor. She could be an asset.
You should think of recruiting her to your nation.
Once more with
I'm thinking
feeling.
so. We offer her an opportunity to prove herself here on the border in exchange for her testifying.
Once more with feeling.
A new life. Tesla smirks a bit.
Yeah, don't do that.
Derek's raises an eyebrow, but doesn't say anything. One thing before we keep going, Scott, is what did they do with the diplomat that may or may not be dead? Because I wanted to see what happened to him.
I think he's drowning in the mud.
Well, you said you should have one of your people do it. He said just let him drown in the mud, and that was where it stood.
Yeah.
So they're not doing anything right now because, you know,
They're not just gonna leave him there and like walk away there, right?
right
Yeah,
now
no,
there's the
he's
other
tied up.
the other two lieutenants there,
Yeah.
and now because you guys have chosen to walk away with her, Hoko is going to take over investigating the other two lieutenants to see what information he can gather from them, and he's being left in the mud because he was told to be left in the mud.
If he's alive in the morning, then he gets to live.
Okay, knowing that,
That's
I'll
good.
give you guys the meta. It was one of those, well, he was just supposed to live, like knocked out, but I specifically described him landing face down in the mud. When you rolled a natty one, like, well, I gotta give him a chance to live, I guess, or chance to die. And nobody wanted to react, so I was sitting there counting rounds in my head as you guys were chatting, and then he just chose to walk away, and I'm like, okay, that's drowned. He's drowned. It's drowned.
Okay.
I mean, nothing off my, I don't know, what's the saying? Never mind.
No
Skip
sweat
it.
off your
Just
back,
skip.
skin off your teeth. You're
Yes,
bad at
skin
this.
off the teeth. Thank you.
Beard off your face, either one.
Ignore it. Just that didn't happen. Okay.
How did you screw up trimming? Like, I need to know the blow by blow on this one.
Okay. So I took the trimmer to trim my neck, right? Then I took the razor to shave under it. I didn't put back on like the I don't know, like the.
The guard, yeah, like number
Yeah,
two,
the
number
guard.
three, whatever, yeah.
So I just took the trimmer and brought it right to my chin.
Oh, you don't shave with a razor, you shave with an electric thing.
I know I have an electric trimmer and then a razor.
Oh.
So I was doing razor on my neck and then the electric trimmer to trim the beard, right?
Yeah.
But then I took out the guard and I just took the center of my chin off and I was like, oh.
See, I don't know. I'm like so super anal about making sure I get the right number on there and stuff like that, and I clean it out. Like, well, granted, I let my beard, as you usually see, I let it grow out for a while and then trim it back. And grow. So I have to make sure I'm constantly tapping it and cleaning it out and whatnot, even while I'm trimming it. Otherwise, it just jams up because I got that thick beard. If you know what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, it's not a big deal if I don't have it, right? Because it'll grow back, and it's not like, it's a defining feature.
All I'm saying is I'm trying to get a few more grays so I can do the Ted Cruz. You know what I'm saying?
No.
But go to Cancun.
Yeah. I've actually never been to Cancun. Never been to Mexico. So I'd love to, but those all-in resorts scare me a little. So
I don't have a passport, so.
Oh yeah, you should. I mean, honestly, for what you should get one, but not yet because COVID.
Yeah.
Anyways, I'd love to go to Australia. Love to. Actually, you know what's funny is my mom. I saw my mom on Sunday yesterday, and I don't want to tangent for too long, campaign. But she was like, they have some crazy fucking bugs in Australia, right? I was like, yeah, Mom, we talk about them all the time. She's like, what a huntsman is? She's like, yeah, I heard you and your friends talking about it. Then I looked up what that shit is. There's some crazy fucking bugs out there. I was like, yeah. She's like, and I follow, Thor. Thor. Like he's picking up a snake, and he's like, oh, this might be poisonous, and I was like, okay, Mom.
Oh my god!
I mean, it's an island where the crocodiles fight sharks. Like, I want nothing to do with it. You guys, you be happy where you are.
Oh.
You guys don't need freedom. You're fine.
I think you guys are going to be scared of
you
what
have
Joey
snakes
just did.
killing alligators down in Florida there?
No, you actually have. Yeah, it's actually an issue where now it's an issue where boas from other countries have been introduced and then released during a hurricane that happened in like '08 or something. And so now they've propagated in the wild, and it went from gators being the apex predator to these boas being the apex predator out there, which is funny because they only started with like less than a dozen, and now they're the apex predator of Florida. And it's like, oh, them snakes like the so back to the game.
You don't have redemptions on, right? So not scared of Snaga today.
Oh yeah, well I mean it starts next week, and Joey just kept that Kappa going.
Joey loves me, okay? He wouldn't try to kill me intentionally.
Don't bait him. Joey will come at you hard if you bait him. Just play cool. Just play cool. Play cool. Okay.
I love Joey.
Yeah. Don't play cool. Just pretend like he's not there.
Just heart emoji.
Yeah.
Wow.
In real life, heart emoji.
Anyways, so moving on. Is there something wrong with heart emojis, Nick?
I just like, how hard do you hug that hentai pillow? That is obviously.
Nice.
Listen, the only pillow I hug is my nice.
Sorry,
memory
waifu.
foam pillow. Okay.
Waifu. Okay.
Memory foam. This one's for my
right.
feet, actually, so
Yeah.
it's kind of nasty.
Scott, if I begged properly, can I gain 3,000 extra daddies? I'm sure if you go into your local, proper club, you can beg the right way and get 3,000 or more daddies, no problem. You just gotta
spend a lot of time on your knees.
Yeah.
I gotta put in some effort there, elbow grease.
You live near, I think you said you live near Chicago, right? I'm pretty sure there's a lot of opportunity in Chicago. It's a pretty densely populated place, and people are pretty lonely these days. Just saying.
That's terrible. All right, we need to circle back to this campaign because this is getting bad.
Yeah.
And I don't want to know why you guys are
I
daddy
never
experts.
expected Nick to be the one that reins us in on the TOS.
Yeah, that's well, that's just
Nick's sad because he needs any dad. He just needs a daddy.
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nick's sad because his dad died. So he's just, this is a subject that makes him sad.
This is a fact.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah. We should put him on a stream with Wade. It'd be fun. Lots of dead dad jokes.
This is the dead dad stream. Yeah, it's good.
Lots of fun. All right. Meanwhile, I got 3 dads, so what? All right. So
Woo.
That's a W.
actually, it's an M for man. Anyways, moving on. You guys are walking into the barracks. I don't think there was any more side chatter you were having before you actually went there to have a conversation with her, was there?
No, I think that was it.
So you go walking into the barracks, and I'll actually allow Nick you to set the scene of kind of like what it looks like inside the barracks here, and where it is that you want to have this conversation. It's your barracks, after all.
Yeah, I mean, the barracks itself is basically a log-in and cobblestone structure. Everything's, again, very basic and stripped down. Shinrin is by no means a poor town as far as a border, town is concerned, but we're very efficient. So everything is just stripped and clean, or at least it was. I don't know what kind of mess we're walking into since liberation, but so we're just going to come into the main barracks area. We have like a general meeting hall or like war room, and we will escort the general in. And I imagine we'll all kind of take one side of the table and basically sit her down.
Okay.
And I already forgot her name because I'm a horrible person.
It's actually on stream, I think. If you look up to the will save, a couple checks up. Yep. I said on the stream. I meant on the Roll20. So it's Karzug, though, is her name.
No, reading is for plebes. I don't do that.
Truth.
So it's funny you say plebe instead of pleb, but
That's right, because I don't read.
oh well, that makes sense. Sir Keegan? No.
Yeah, boomers don't read.
Oh, really? Joe, that's weird that it didn't pop up for you. Yes, it went to level 5 hype train and capped out at like 220% or something like that. And there would have to be a 2-hour gap from when that one ended before another one could start. So you have to imagine it's pretty safe to assume another hype train could start around midnight EST. Prior to that, it's not even worth trying because it could be with like a minute or so, and then it just wouldn't happen. Anyways, I'll put a vote up later on for how to spend that hype train. But back to you, Nick. So as you were saying, the cobblestone and log set, and you can imagine, it's not in a great shape because of the fact that there were people in here that were rummaging through, gathering supplies, and then just the sheer amount of blood that's inside here from when you eventually stormed in and had them before they officially surrendered, or the people that had been injured in the combats prior that were dragged behind the lines to be, resuscitated or whatever it might be, or bandaged, I should say, whatever it might be. So yeah, it's a bit messy in here. Either way, so you walk in and you have her standing, sitting?
We'll sit her down.
So you sit her down probably in one of the bunks of this place. And so she sits down and she's being very amicable. I mean, she's not happy. Clearly not happy. Allow me to give a moment to describe her because she's become a kind of like a central focus for a bit. So I'll take a moment to describe this person. I actually don't have a ton written down anyways, but she is a Metahina, Metahina. She's a Perrin, as is previously gathered by the fact that she happens to be a Metahina. She's a Perrin, which is, again, like half elf, right? But she's not that old. She must be maybe her late 20s, early 30s, somewhere in that realm, probably early 30s, because you could start to see the features that beguile her, not beguile, that kind of give away the fact that she's Perrin as opposed to being a human, right? You can look at her and be like, yeah, I'm pretty sure she's Perrin. As a reminder, Nick, Perrin that are under 30 years old, that are younger, they're indistinguishable from humans, even to most other Perrin. They're just indistinguishable. They look too human. As they age, their features exaggerate. So she's probably in her early 30s, allowing you to kind of gather that fact. She herself stands at about like a 5'6", bolstered a little bit by the heel and the boots that she's happens to be walking in, her armored boots and everything she happens to be walking in. She's probably about a good 5'6", has a decently broad build. Like, she's not a weak person by any stretch of the imagination. She holds herself well. She has the look of her face that shows that she's probably had some amount of scrapes and cuts and whatnot on her face, so no deep gashes or anything like that over the years, markings on her chin and whatnot. She's completely covered in mud. And everything completely saturated at the moment. And you can tell because she's been outside in the rain, even though it's springtime, it's cold, right? Because of it pouring out. She even has a bit of a shiver to her, but, she's doing the whole grit your teeth and, kind of like flex the muscles, do what she can to not give way too much to the fact that she happens to be rather cold at the moment. So again, she's stealing her jaw and just kind of taking in the room. She's not looking up to make eye contact with any of you because any of you are directly speaking to her, but she's also not missing the opportunity to look around the room, taking her surroundings and where it is that she happens to be situated. You could, of course, tell, recognition in her eyes, she knows where she is and she knows this room well. She spent a considerable number of hours here recently, didn't she? So, kind of throwing back to you guys, I imagine the three of you were in this chamber. Would you want it cleared out of any other persons, or would you not mind the other soldiers passing through to do whatever tasks they might be doing, including cleaning up and blah, blah, blah?
Yeah, as far as I'm concerned, people can do their jobs as they see fit.
Perfect. So then you will allow that to happen. They're kind of like passing through, just making sure that they don't like kind of bump into you. So you'd almost get that feeling of if you've ever been in a restaurant on a busy evening or worked in a restaurant on a busy evening, that whole others are kind of like trying to do that whole slide past you during the narrow areas. Excuse me. As they're trying to do their various tasks without bumping into a friggin' warlord, especially a warlord. Whereas like Nick's character, if it's a small bump in this situation, he wouldn't care. They don't know how these other two are going to react. They don't know. So they're being as graceful as Karuk can be and as respectful as Karuk tend to be. So I'll let you take it away from here, Nick.
So we'll come in and I will be like, Kurza, take a seat. And we'll come to our section. There'll probably be a stare down for a few minutes, taking in her appearance, trying to gather her general kind of state. And then I would go into my spiel, which is basically, Kurza, what were you hoping to gain from your previous position?
Just so I understand, in the meta, what did you mean by in the previous position?
General. She's out.
Oh, gotcha. As a general, my apologies.
We all know she's not a general anymore, and the clan most is not going to save her. There's no coming back from this.
Yep. So, you're so from her previous position as a leader of the other nation. Gotcha.
Correct.
She looks a genuinely kind of caught off guard by that question, and so because she's not very good at. If you guys want to roll sense motive, if you guys want to roll a sense motive, as she's not. Again, this is just trying to hide facial reactions and whatnot. You get a -2 to this. Don't forget, so. Hey! With a -2, you're the one that succeeds.
Oh, I thought I had the 5.
No, that's you, baby. So, anyways, yeah, you're actually able to tell that she's trying. She's able to tell she's a little bit surprised by this reaction, whereas the other two of you see she's kind of stone-faced. She says, "Are you referring to my time with the?" I keep having to look it up. Sorry. Are you referring to my time with the Zinquin clan?
Correct.
You may not know much about the culture of where it is I originally come from, but I am a Metahina. I originally come from Paradel. I have chosen to leave that place, as is relatively custom for people of my background. I am looking to make a name for myself, find my own place in this world, because I do not have a situation where others are willing to aid me. I don't have a family. I don't have support of my community. So I start from the ground and work my way up. I came to Kajinxi because Kajinxi is a place where strength is respected, where one can fight and can fight and maneuver their way to the top with tenacity, but also with honor. I chose that, thinking that it was the best way to go. I joined on with a clan whose name need not be mentioned any longer, as they've been usurped into the Zinquin clan. My time with that clan taught me much about what it means to be of Kajinxi honor. I then earned the respect of the warlord, of Zinquin warlord. He gave me an opportunity to work within Clan Zinquin. Unfortunately, I also learned that while this warlord tends to lean towards the idea of honor, he has those that bend his ear and lead him astray.
One less of those, I'd say.
One less of those, I'd say. When you say that, you can actually see, again, this is back to Tessel. She'll nod, just kind of like stoically to the two of you, but you can actually see Tessel, you notice a slight face tick of almost like a sneer. You get the impression that it may have been not just this situation, but an ongoing misunderstanding between those two. Mm-hmm. I use that phrase generously.
Yeah, Naren will openly laugh. That's a good joke. Yes, the water-fat tribes of the north, they forget what real battle is like, what real struggle. You want honor. If you want a chance to prove yourself, you may want to consider this opportunity that I'm about to propose.
She'll actually look full up and at you, like, again, surprised by what it is that you're saying, surprised to hear that you're saying that there is an opportunity at all. And so, like I said, she'll kind of like look up fully at you and raise an eyebrow.
So, Kajinksi, we have a strong code of honor. And when someone violates that honor, it needs to be proven. Would you be willing to testify against the Zinquin for this disgusting act of war that they've committed against the southern tribes?
You're looking to bring this to the courts in the north.
Correct.
Tessel, I assume when you say correct, in fact, we've already sent a runner up north with information about what has happened and samples of the poisons.
Well, my apologies if it seems I didn't expect that to be something that you would do. Yes.
Oh,
Yeah,
we will. We're also going to chase down and absolutely slaughter the Zinquin at any opportunity we can. But our codes of honor are strict, and we abide by them. We are not in the Barren Lands anymore, as much as Varix, who rebels in the old ways. They're the old ways for a reason.
She says, I would like to emphatically say, yes, the opportunity for that is. I would like to take this opportunity again. You can see like she's kind of stammering for words, not because she's somebody that seems to be lacking intelligence, but you can see she's kind of thinking. Tessel, this again, kind of going to you. Each of you can see she's stammering for words, maybe a little overwhelmed. But Tessel, again, you can see that she's almost like calculating in her mind, like the kind of opportunity that this is. Maybe more than just the opportunity to just work with this tribe right here, right? But anyways, so she says, yes, I would love the opportunity to do that.
Before you make your decision, I want you to speak with Hoko at length about Clan Kuchibashi and where we come from. And then after that conversation, only then will I accept your answer. That said, your lieutenants, should they also be face down in the mud?
They're a surrendering force. It's they're at the mercy of the defeating army. In my personal opinion, how I would handle the matter is I would use them being the most well-spoken and best read as messengers back to Clan Zinquin as to the demise of the Grand Diplomat and the imprisonment of their general and overall defeat on the battlefield. They would be the ones to most accurately deliver the message that you wish to deliver.
Well advised.
Can somebody just sum that up for me really quickly? What she said?
Yeah, Mom. No, sorry, that was just
Nice.
basically the lieutenants. They're just well spoken enough to where we can send them back to Zinquin and be like, listen, your Grand Diplomat's dead. We've captured your general. You failed. And then, do that whole chest slap like, what now, bitch? Come at me, bro.
Come at me, bro. All right.
Do we not think it wise to detain them until at least word has reached us from what the North wants? We should just send them back.
I think we have enough of a lead to the point where it won't matter. Because we sent them out, 2 days ago? 3 days ago? Or no, longer than that.
We sent them out. Yeah, we sent them out before we left Densho clan.
Technically speaking, you can use them for forced labor. There's whole rules about it. I don't know if Sel, were you reading those with me? You can
No.
use them. Oh, you weren't? Oh,
I didn't.
Captured armies, you can use them for forced labor, and it reduces the BP cost to construct things, or it enhances the amount of like consumption, whatever you get from like farms while you're. Granted, it also has other effects in your kingdom, but
Yeah, it doesn't sound like the best thing.
You know, being the borderline meritocracy that my kingdom is, I don't think that's going to go over well. So probably not.
Are they not worthy enough to be ransomed?
armies ransomed don't really carry value. Leaders ransomed do. They can carry a lot of value.
Based on the honor we've seen, I don't think they're going to pay out much for lieutenants.
Yeah, battlefield leaders can be ransomed if they happen to be like high ups. These are just lieutenants. These aren't commanders.
So you wish to release them and send them running back to their master?
Basically, yeah. I mean, we can tell them that we're going to hold their general, and if they choose to try to make an offer, that's fine. Well, I'm going to be trying to poach her the whole time because I need a general. So
it's like, thank you for the money. We have released her, and she has chosen to stay.
yeah. Turns out she likes fried chicken. It's there. It's good.
Got a lot of extra chocobo right now.
Yeah,
Better
our
than-
omelet's fantastic.
Have you eaten ostrich egg, Jake?
No.
You haven't?
Have you?
I've eaten an ostrich burger at a Fandango's, which is like a chain restaurant, but that's it. So it's not the same as eating ostrich. But I just, because they're from your country, I just didn't know if you actually had.
No. What are you talking
No,
about?
emu are from.
Oh, that's right. Emu are there. Ostrich are what? Africa, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, never mind.
I just
Oh
think
my
everything
God.
weird is from Australia.
Yeah,
right?
it's safe to say that. Yeah. Big scary
I've eaten
bird.
crocodile though.
Oh yeah.
I've never had crocodile or gator.
That's pretty good.
I've had
Shark and
gator
bear.
jerky.
Hmm?
I've had gator jerky.
It's like I could taste the dinosaur. Anyways, it's like you need to eat crocodile while watching Jurassic Park. That's just how it goes. Like that needs to be the experience.
Or the Land Before Time.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's like
Littlefoot's mom.
I love that movie so much.
3 stars.
So
Yes.
to be clear, Land Before Time 1 and 2, solid. The rest of the other 18 of them, just trash.
I've only watched 1 and 2.
Oh, good. Then your
I
parents
think- did they have
love
a-
you.
Did they have a TV show series of it too?
I don't know, but understands that, no exaggeration, it was in the teens. Like, there's so many of them. If you include the movies like Sarah's Birthday and stuff like that, there's so many of them.
God.
My little brother Eric, or Kunsai, or whatever, Tweech, or whatever he calls himself now, he has seen all of them. He was obsessed with them as a kid.
Wow. Now I feel like now we're talking about kid movies. I feel like my tribe is like the evil guy from Fern Gully, like the smog monster.
Oh, slime beneath me. Ooh, slime
Yeah.
up above. Actually,
I
wasn't
get the name.
what
Oh,
country
man.
did that take place in? Wasn't that like...
Oh man, I don't
Wasn't that
remember.
for like supposed to be based in like the Amazon or something?
Yeah, I think it was Amazon.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one was
Yeah.
Amazon. It was like Brazil or whatever. And then there was The Rescuers Down Under. That was the one that was in the
Yes.
outback.
They had
Yeah.
26 episodes of a TV series.
God, it's so bad.
That's terrible. Oh,
I will say, Anno, I think kangaroo is foul. I do not like it at all. It is tough and tastes like shit. So,
You know, he has to say that
saying.
because if he advocated for eating kangaroo, one would just jump through his window right now and beat the living hell out of him.
Wait, there ain't no kangaroos around here, right? You have to go at least 30 minutes away.
At least 30 minutes? God, that's crazy. That's crazy. Again, like it's just weird because as a New Englander, you have to understand the biggest things that exist in New England that you commonly would see are like turkeys or fox. Okay. You might see coyotes depending on what kind of property you live on. Still not that big. It's just a dog, right? And then if you live out in the fucking forest, like in the mountains, then you might see a bear. But even then, it's a black bear. You know,
What about
like
deer?
Sure, but deer, the herbivores don't count.
I mean, there's moose
big, though.
if you get into like New Hampshire and Vermont.
Sure, but again, they're herbivores. They don't count. They don't
You
want
are-
to mess with you.
There was an albino
Moose
deer.
are apex, yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing eats moose.
There was
So,
an albino
unless they're
deer
sick.
near my house. It's a white deer. It was sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool story, bro.
No, but have you ever seen? Have you?
No, we can. No, we're done. Back to game. No.
So, have you ever seen a moose in real life? Like not in a zoo, or have you ever seen a moose?
No, I live in the south. Why don't I see a moose?
Okay, so jokes aside, chat. Again, I'm at 5'11". I can walk clean under a moose. Like it can bristle my hair. Like I can walk clean under a moose.
Ow.
Yeah,
They're
humans.
that tall.
They're
Like-
huge.
Like if it's a full grown bull moose, you can walk clean under them. Granted, not their chest, more like where their stomach is, right? And then like if you're driving like a sedan, any car can drive under the female moose too. Like yeah, granted, that's if their legs are wide enough apart. You know that they're usually legs are too close together to actually make it. You take out their legs and you die. But yeah, they're that tall. They're crazy.
Actually,
Anyways.
I think it's funny that I had an opossum in my backyard last night. So I have a marsupial living closer to me than Jake does, and I find that amusing.
Oh.
I didn't say
Terrible
possums were
Australian.
30 minutes away, all right?
Terrible Australian, Jake.
Have you ever visited Tasmania?
No.
Oh no.
What would you do in Tasmania? Go to a chocolate factory?
Well, just because like there's some really cool animals that are super unique to this one little spot, so that's why I was curious. But he said it with disdain. Like, why would why would I visit New Jersey? Ugh. Like,
I mean,
get it.
why would you
There you
visit
go.
New Jersey?
all right, fair enough. My apologies. Back to the game. So you what was I saying? Sorry. So you made the offer, so on and so forth, and you want to kind of have what's his name speaking to them. You guys were arguing over whether or not it's a good idea to send them there, and so we're just going to send them packing to their back to their master, is what Jake said. Going back to Nick.
Yes, I think it's a strong move. Tells them that we're not scared of them, which we aren't. You know, they'll be abreast of the situation, and then they'll also have to make a decision regarding their general, which will reflect poorly on them honor-wise, pretty much no matter which direction they go in, and will give us another point, you know, of contention against them when we
Could also give them more.
Hmm?
Could also give them more information about exactly what's going on here.
She seemed
I imagine they already have quite a bit.
interested. I was getting a good clean read off of her during our conversation. I was focusing on it. She looks like how I was getting at Scott, she looks like she was really thinking of the benefits of joining the clan, or at least helping us out.
benefits of being helpful here.
Yeah. She was very inclined to help. I believe with little time you can convince her to join you.
You saying this in front of her?
No, I assume we've walked away.
Yeah. More often
You
than not,
said
you
her-
guys have these little asides. So, go ahead.
Yeah.
Or you sent her away to talk to Buddy, so I assume like she's been walked out somewhere else, right? To meet with him.
Yeah, sure. We'll send her out to get cleaned up and dried off, and you know, we're playing.
Just
good
make sure you
job
take
right
your
now.
boots, I yell out, because I heard on the grapevine a lot of people have magic boots that they somehow teleport out of custody. So,
Gotta double check them
I don't-
boots.
I don't know where this is coming from.
What's magic?
just, you know, boots that magically appear on people that teleport them away. You know how it is.
So,
Oh!
Oh, he must have magically teleported out of this conversation. Oh, how'd that
You got-
happen?
Wow.
Wow.
that-
Is this what it feels like to not be the one kicked out?
Wow. I don't know, man. That was crazy. That was
Nick's
crazy.
DM now.
Let's fix that situation.
Oh, I'm DM. All right. So Nick gets a free pass on ones for one session.
And we are not back where we need to be. You guys gotta flip. Nope.
Nick's. Oh,
God damn it.
You're DM now.
Nope. God damn it. Flip. There we go. That fixes it. There we are. Continue.
I'm out of coffee.
Yeah, I know. I only had coffee this morning. I had like half a mug of leftover coffee from yesterday I microwaved, and then Brittany had like half of this tiny ass cup of latte that while I was waiting for the kettle to boil, I microwaved to have. But at least now I have tea. It's subpar, but you know.
Tea's fantastic.
Tea, sure, fantastically not coffee. So
Disagree.
coffee is,
Hard disagree.
you disagree that tea is not coffee?
I
Right,
disagree
well,
that tea.
education of the self,
I
everybody.
think coffee is the lesser form of tea.
Are you ready for this? Are you
I'm
going to
waiting.
continue to waste the game?
Yeah, it is. Bye, so. Oh boy.
All right, no, let's actually play. Let's actually play the game. I'm genuinely excited for the session, so let's keep playing. So all right, go ahead. And so just so you know, since you have the Snapchat thing on, you can give yourself a beard if you'd like. You can find one in
sure.
there and become a man
I'll find
again.
one. Okay, give me a second. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so
speak of,
you guys step aside, and Shado says,
To also comment on the decision about the 2 lieutenants. I see no harm in it. They already, by this point, from the retreating army that we defeated in my lands, must know their defeat. This way, it'll make them wait longer to decide on their actions and give us more time. Give the northern clans more time to send back a runner.
Yeah, and I think it also just makes it point more to the fact that we're following the rules of engagement and just cementing that fact.
I didn't mean for him to die. I'm not, I'm not upset he did. I didn't think him to be that weak, but I hope to get a lot more out of him. Hopefully, the general will be more accommodating, though, and telling us everything that she knows.
I meant for him to die. I figured we were going to have Tessel do it, so it would be legitimate, but he solved the problem one way or another.
I mean, it was
Weakling's
just
dying.
one kick. Yeah, clearly.
I mean, he wasn't fought. Like, his hands were soft.
Yeah, true.
He used poison. What did you expect?
It's like one of those people
So-
that puts Vaseline in a glove,
"Did you just make a Lenny reference?
I did.
Like
I
of mice
did.
and men?"
That's right.
Oh my
I'm
God.
old. It's good.
What's being
It's a
old?
good book. Being old, it comes with misery. It's hand in hand.
I'm rocking the shades though. So.
No, it's a Patreon only joke. Get rid of it. We don't want to deal with that trash here. All right. So, anyways, so you guys kind of come into this conclusion of what it is you need to do. Hoko is going to speak to her and work with her to the best of the ability. You guys have, at the very least for now, you have all of the soldiers kind of kept as prisoners. The rules for how it works is for every 10 prisoners that you wish to keep POWs, you have to have at least one soldier guarding them. That's to keep things normal. They can still attempt prison breaks and so on and so forth, and blah, blah, blah. And there's also rules for however many soldiers you have on hand increases the amount of consumption you have to do to maintain them and blah, 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 blah. But either way, for now, you're just going to maintain these prisoners and probably even have double the guard that you need to just for now while things kind of settle in. You prep together the message that you want to deliver to the north, the message that you want to give to these 2 lieutenants, because it sounds like that's the plan that you want to do. As for delivering that message, I'm not sure who you'd want to have kind of compile it for you. There, Nick, just kind of looking at your kingdom as it stands right now. Excuse me. Looking at your kingdom as it stands right now, maybe you would want to have either Shala or Daelric take care of it. Daelric being your counselor, Shala being your spy master.
Yeah, I'm gonna look.
Also, I didn't know if you wanted to address Shala directly for their activities during this entire endeavor.
Yeah. So I mean, if Charlotte can give me the rundown, that'd be great.
Well, I meant because of how much success she had along the way, but
Charlotte will definitely be getting rewarded. Probably, I don't know what's appropriate. I'm thinking 1 BP.
you don't have to spend BP to give rewards. You can do things like have a small ceremony title, so on and so forth, just like namesake things that aren't that important. one of the other things you can do is you can actually purchase them magic items or like items of value. And here's actually a cool thing, rules for all of you. You know when your kingdom makes magic items from like the various whatever you have in there, you can actually choose to purchase those magic items with the kingdom's gold to award people that are important to the kingdom, like NPCs, including your own advisors. So you actually use the kingdom's money to reward your advisors if you wanted to. So just a fun fact for the future.
I like that, Snaga. Yes, award a special axe beak. That's actually that's pretty good.
Doesn't she already have one of the unique axe beak? Because she's one of the originals.
She was.
She was one of the her and Tonscreet were in the cave with you in your session 0.
Interesting.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean she can't have a secondary one to actually give to one of her own family members or whatnot.
Or
or to start breeding.
Breeding right. Oh,
yeah.
Oh, if she has a male, give her a female or so on. Yeah. All right, that's cool.
Yeah, that's what we can do. It helps Kajing or the clan as a whole, and is a reward. So.
Yep, and then it gives like almost like you imagine breeding, like breeding certificates in real life. There's like lines, like family lines of pets. You can almost imagine she starts the Shala line of that's cool, awesome.
Yes, yeah. So we're gonna do that for Shala, and I still think Desrox did a great job too. She had a couple of critical wins for sneaking out of the city.
That's Shala.
Huh?
Oh
no, yeah. And that was outside her skill set, so I think there's going to be a reward for that as well.
I don't remember if that's male or female. It is female. Wow, I didn't realize that. Cool. Yep, you're correct. Cool. Awesome. So
am I going to have like almost an entirely female staff? I'm fine with that, but definitely wasn't going for the harem vibe.
Oh, Tonscreet, Hoko, Rayon, whatever it is, male, and then currently you have 2 female, and you're about to add, in theory, you're about to add another female, so it'd be 50-50.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Nice. All right. HR is going to be happy then. We're good.
I have 3 as well, don't I?
I don't know. But Jake's over here like, no girls allowed. We practice the old ways.
Yep, that's it.
Well, in the old ways, the girls are also strong fighters.
The very old ways. No, actually, I don't think you have any females in yours, do you? Wow, Jake. Wow.
Me?
Jake.
I do. Wow. Are you saying that Sarash is not a female?
I think Sarash
is
actually a dude.
Dude, you're just saying she's an orc.
Damn it.
She's a half orc and
that's right. She's the former
Oh
slave.
my god, Scott. I can't believe you.
I misgendered. I'm sorry.
Dude, damn.
I misgendered a make-believe person.
Oh my god.
Sorry.
Oh man. Fucking boomer.
Well, I can get a load of this guy.
Fucking boomer.
So God, we keep sidetracking, but at work we had to recently everybody had to do these because it's like the new year, and every year in February they do I can't remember what it's called, but more or less dealing with like I can't remember what it's called. It's something about bias, something bias, more or less like non-conscious bias that people have against one another. Like subconscious, but it's unsomething bias. So more or less like biases that you might have against other person or persons because of like whatever background or whatever you have. It's more or less trying to make you mindfully aware of that to move beyond it. Again, you guys have heard many times with the kind of people that I work with. And so this year, for the first time ever, they actually added on to that. Because again, every year in February they do it for Black History Month and making sure awareness and so on and so forth. This year they chose to also add on dealing with the LGBTQ community as well, because of making sure misgendering and making sure that different persons would be welcome inside the workplace in case they happen to be non-binary or whatever it might be. The number of comments that were in the area because of it, that again I have to fight with them over. Be like, no, that's not okay. And luckily, I'm now not the only one that's in this particular location. I'm now not the only one that has these. I happen to work with a 20-year-old now. And I'm like, thank God. Thank God. I'm not the only one. The 20-year-old happens to also have all of these Zoomer mentality things. And I'm like, oh, thank God. Okay, I can literally turn to somebody and be like, right? And they're like, yeah, of course. And I'm like, thank you. Just have somebody to turn to, and they can all roll their eyes. And I'm like, ha! Not alone here.
It's not Zoomer mentality. I think there's just like
being a decent person,
human being, and not being a decent human being.
God damn it. So,
First,
wrong.
just to clarify, I'm not a decent human being.
well, yeah, well, we already know that, but
Yeah, Nick,
That has nothing to do with my views on people. I dislike everyone equally.
yeah,
so
yeah.
Yeah, and we all dislike you, Nick.
That's good. It's by design.
Yeah, my favorite is the now oldest person that we work with. She is
Coffee.
late 60s, early 70s. You don't ask that question, and her opinion is, why do you people talk about this here? And I'm like, that is also a win. That is also a win. That's it. No, that is a very appropriate response. Like, don't talk about it. Like, that's also appropriate. Don't bring it up. That's cool too. So, anyways, moving on. Let's get back to the game. So,
Is that tangent number 4? I think so.
14. So,
8.
Nick is the common denominator. That is a hashtag that is allowed. So, you guys
Oh, wow.
are
What? Where did that come from?
you guys are able to so you guys step out. Hoko does this. I don't think there's anything immediate, like assuming direct control, that you guys want to take over at this moment. I think we can kind of allow several hours to pass, right?
Yeah.
Cool. So as those hours pass, your different armies kind of like really work together to shore up the defenses, so on and so forth. And the advisors that you chose to bring with you, each of you, almost immediately start chomping at the bit, saying, to both Shadow Tessel and to Daelric, being like, I think that since things here seem to be secure, we should leave as soon as we can. Of course, to which, Tessel would want to respond with, not until we hear word of my brother, that sort of a thing. And again, your defenses, Nick, are very much shored up. When do you want to have the 2 people that you're sending to Zinquin, when do you want to release them to actually go up there with that messaging?
I don't know if you guys have any opinions. I'd probably just wait until, again, like I said, we're all cleaned up, everything's shored up. We have a general idea of what information they're going with. So just kind of figuring out what they know, so we know what information we're giving the Shinquin.
So it's don't rush it, but also let's not waste our time either. Gotcha.
Correct.
So
Yeah.
cool. So why don't we have, because you're going to have, I believe it was Shala that was handling the situation for you. You'll probably give Shala, but you want her to like approach this immediately this evening, or no, this is tomorrow's job. For today, rest and relax. Okay. So then why don't we actually fast forward to the next day, where you personally, the 3 of you, did not go looking for a Naito, but you actually wanted to send out a group to go searching in. Yeah. Back to you, Tessel. You actually brought with you your elites, correct? You were the one that brought the elites?
They are currently.
Oh,
with
never mind.
Naito.
Sorry, sore spot. Would you want to send soldiers to go looking for Naito as well? And I don't mean the full army. And I don't mean. I mean, like, would you want a number of them to travel with the Kushibashi as well?
Yeah, he would offer the support.
I would actually advise against that. I have people who are specifically trained to go into Eldamar and get out. Obviously, sending people who into Eldamar who weren't trained was not a great idea. So it's getting the people who know how to track in that terrain would probably be best.
Tessel would ask if he could have his men stationed near the border to assist in any exiting requirements.
Yeah, that's reasonable.
And Nick, just to be clear, and I'm going to keep giving these bits of advice until you guys know your own advisors better than I do, because there's too many for me to remember. Would you want Ton Screets to handle the situation, because he is your marshal? He is the one that typically takes care of. He would have been the one that gave the forewarning of the impending army that came, and would have set up the initial line of defense that unfortunately was overrun because that was just way too much for them to handle. Would you want Ton Screet, who was in the cave with you originally when you found the original Chocobo?
Yeah.
Him to handle it? Perfect. So for this situation, what I want you to do for his advisor thing, which again, I did not set those up on your spreadsheet, so we'll have to get those advisor things set up. That'll be a recording I actually do for Patreon, probably for the month of March. I'll put one of those videos out there of setting those up for you guys. I still owe them one more in February for the February upgrade for all of those. I recorded one, I have to record the other 2 and then release them. So back to you, Nick. For Ton Screet, it's not economy. It's not, this would be a stability check that you'd be going against, just to be clear for how it kind of works. So you have no modifier one way or the other for that. The roll result would be, give me 1 second while I pull this up again because I'm a dummy. Using you as my baseline because I'm a dummy. And we're going to go into, advisor tasks. So he is a currently supported member, so he gets a +1. He is utilizing his, all of his other bonuses that he gets. Where are you? So he gets his normal bonuses +1, I think, is how it works. So I got to look at where he actually is on your character. Tonscrete, yeah, is a 4 +1. He has a +5 on this check. And then the DC, just as a reminder for how this DC works, I actually want to see if I can post this somewhere easy for you guys to see. Let me do a snipping tool. Snipping. New. And then I'm just going to kind of like grab this image and throw it over into... this is for everybody that's watching that's able to open up a secondary app on their computer, phone, whatever it is. If you actually go into Discord and you go into the Warmonger spoilers, I'll post this right here for kind of like the rules on that. And that goes to the PCs as well. And then for you guys, I'm also going to post it inside Kajinxi and pin it for you in Kajinxi. Okay. Cool. So everybody kind of like follow along how this works. So back to what we were doing. Nick, you can kind of see the various difficulties there. Again, this is not an easy task by any stretch, but you also know it's not imposing either, right? So you're going to make your check right here to see his ability to go and find Naito. It's a D20 plus, as I previously said, his normal result +1 for him being still actively supported. So that's a +5. You also get an additional bonus on this in the future, guys, if they stay in the same position for X number of months. That doesn't apply to any of them right now.
Right.
That's in-game months, not out-of-game months.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's really nice, actually, since we move along quicker.
Mm-hmm.
Nick, the one time I need you to roll well.
Oh, Tonscrete.
Oh no, that's gonna be like a critical fail.
I feel bad for Green, because Green was like, I kind of feel bad that my character didn't do a good job of protecting the nation. That's literally his responsibility. And then here we are. You just poor Green, man.
That would have.
It's seven critical failure.
Green's the kind of person that bets on the losing horse, you know? Like
That's gonna be. Oh my god, that's gonna be so bad. If it was.
Nick, who did you send in with Tonscrete?
Just him and a squad of Rangers, I would imagine.
Okay, so him and a squad being maybe like maybe a dozen, maybe a score like 20. Like how many would you send?
Yeah, I don't know what let me think of a good search party. Let's somebody roll me 2d10. Can we do that?
Sure. Yeah. Why don't each of you PCs roll a d10 for him? Because I don't think d10's actually on. I think it's the only die I don't have over on Discord yet. Twitch yet, sorry. There you go. And waiting for Jake.
Oh, well, yeah. Roll high. You want me to lose that many soldiers, huh?
Listen,
Gotcha.
okay? You should
So
just roll
10,
high
yeah.
instead.
I can't do that.
So yeah, you guys are they go in there and go searching. Unfortunately, with the result of a 7 and your inability to modify that result by any stretch, let's just say things don't go well. Now a 7, if you critically fails, if you fail by 7 or if you, yeah. So if the DC was a 14 or greater, things are not going well. You send them out immediately after everything was kind of settled in your, like after everything was kind of like, you turn to him and say, one of the first matters we need to handle is we need to have this taken care of. Send word to Tonscrete. He needs to amass a search party and have them searched for. I expect them here by morning with them. Morning comes. Tonscrete hasn't returned. It's the next day. Why don't we have you do another advisor check, as Shala has her responsibility throughout the course of this day of preparing the messaging and whatnot of sending those people. Shala is, again, this is going to be a loyalty check. It doesn't matter, though, because it's not a factor as of right now. So why don't you go ahead and roll for her? Her result is, because she's actively supported, going to be where shall I just want to confirm, a +5 as well. All right. She actually does a pretty good job of composing the messaging and everything that's to send with them. A combination of a letter to send to them directly from you, right? Written by her, but from you. You, of course, read over it before it was sealed and given to them. And then also coaching them on what it is that they need to say. Now, just to be quick and clear, what messaging do you want them to deliver to Zin Quinn? And do you want either of these two knuckleheads to assist you?
Yeah, I mean, they're more than welcome to put in input. This I can only speak on for my clan's behalf. I won't speak for them.
Okay.
Unless we come to some sort of agreement on that.
Sure.
So, and then it's pretty much coming to you basically, you know, what's the Knight's Tale speech? You know, you've been weighed and measured and found wanting. Also, I have your journal. So.
Where was that from? What was that
Knight's
from?
Tale.
Oh, Knight's Tale. That's right. You said
yeah.
that. Knight's Tale. Yeah. Weighed, measured, and found wanting. Yeah, that's right. I love that movie.
It's so great.
Yeah. I mean, it's not good, but it's great. Yeah.
Yes.
No. Anyways, continue.
So that, I mean, we can send him back with Farquaad's corpse.
I'm going to want possession of his corpse. I don't want it returned.
You want to put what?
He wants
I
possession
want
of.
possession of the corpse.
Yeah, I won't argue with you, but that's weird.
Does he have like a ring or a signifying piece of jewelry or equipment?
Absolutely. Yep.
Then Tessa would just take those off and be like, we'll send them back with this to signify his death.
Yeah, you don't have to send everything back. At least one thing that's so iconic that clearly would signify it. Yep. And you could easily even confirm with the general as to what would be a signifying piece.
Yeah, and send it back with like a fork jammed into it.
Okay. Moving on.
Yeah, that's.
Do we have forks in Kajinxi? We just eat with our hands, right?
They're probably crude forks, you know. Chopsticks.
I make
Stick
the
with
forks.
the theme. Stick with the theme.
Well, my nation has metal, so I make forks.
Yeah, there you go.
We just have bushcraft spoons over here in Shenron. That's it. That's what we do. We just eat with spoons.
All right, continuing on. So she actually does a good job of compiling this. Any other details that Shado would want to send as well?
I don't think there's anything else we need to add. Yeah, I have prisoners, don't I? From the first army we beat, I had like a small detachment keeping them. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I would ask Tessel as well is when we're waiting for a response, if when he goes back to his nation, if I could borrow a craftsman for not very long, but I have something that I wish made. I don't have anyone skilled enough to make it.
He would Varix tell me the request and I will tell them to make it and send it to you. I don't know, but I don't believe you have a forge in your nation to make weaponry.
No, I want his bones made into a star with his skull on the top.
Then send his remains and we shall make one.
He'll nod and he'll turn him into your custody.
And Nick,
Did you eat him here?
Oh, he's not gonna eat him.
Hmm?
He's not gonna eat
No, I'm
him.
not going to eat him.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought you were eating the diplomat.
He's,
No, that's
he's
an honorable thing.
Yeah, he's weak. He's
Yeah.
super weak.
Okay.
He died from a kick.
Yeah. No.
Okay, yeah. So we have to basically burn his flesh and then, yeah.
If he like fought against a foe that was like a legitimately noteworthy and powerful foe, yes, eat that man's heart. But beyond that, they don't really eat flesh.
Okay.
Yeah. So anyways, back to you, Nick. Do you give him warning? You know, you will like a trial is coming, or do you not make mention of that?
No, I mean they should know.
Okay, cool. All right. So back to the game. Evening comes. Shala has messaging ready. Informs you that they will be sent with the armies and the messaging, so on and so forth, back to the north, and they'll be leaving out again tomorrow by daybreak. Unfortunately, you also hear from Hoko that Tonskri has not returned.
All right, I'm gonna have to go myself. We're gonna organize a party and charge in. This is the second group to disappear in Eldamar. To me, that's a sign that something bad is coming. It's gonna need to be verified.
May I follow with?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not going in gently now.
With your leave, I would take my soldiers and return home. I have affairs to manage there, and there's a reason we've never raided Eldamar.
Tessa would look to you. Can you lead my men back to your city, and then my lieutenants will guide them the rest of the way?
Yes, I can.
Okay.
He nods to you.
Because right now your city's semi-protected. You're like, I need to get them back, just in case.
I want to have them back, but I'm not leaving without at least going into Eldamar to try to get my brother.
Okay. And the general just sits locked tight in whatever cell or accommodations you provide for her, and makes no complaint or anything, to be clear. No request, no complaint. All right, so the two of you are going to gather together. How big of a force, Nick, to head into the army? To head in?
We're gonna go in 100 strong.
Okay. And make your way downtown. Walking fast, faces past. Homebound. Do. All right.
Half-man bound.
So you guys go walking into, and you prepare, probably not that evening. You probably also plan to make it for daybreak, heading into the Eldamar. Before we actually handle this situation, we're going to do two things. First and foremost, we're going to do Jake's first kingdom roll to get that out of the way, because this is the day that would trigger that kingdom roll. Then, because it will take a few minutes to get that done, we're going to set up the vote for how it is that the, what's it called?
Hype train.
Hype train is going to be spent. And third of all, reveal something super cool that was worked on by somebody. So give me 2 seconds. Jake, we're going to go to you first. For you, assuming that all of your advisors and whatnot are in your home, and remember that this is supposed to represent the role that transpired prior to the assault, prior to the attack. And this is kind of like your soft kingdom roll opening. We're going to go and I'm pulling up the rules right now for you. I'm just going to go to upkeep phase. So the first thing that you always roll for is going to be your actual upkeep. Oh, make sure that your kingdom stats match your character sheet kingdom stats inside Roll20. Yeah. You should be doing that at the start of every session. Yeah.
Yep.
Cool.
Good there.
So the first thing you're going to do is roll for us your stability check. This is going to be your
upkeep phase.
Upkeep phase. Yep. Thank you, sir. And we can bring this over to the map so that everybody can kind of see where we are. I currently have you guys here. I'm going to bring this over here.
We'll fail by 1.
Oh, somehow. Oh, I brought you guys to the wrong one. That's funny. I meant here and here.
Oh, I'm orange.
Oh, it's funny. It actually erased for me the... Can you guys see this area that used to always be gray before? Or is it all black there now?
It's all black.
That's weird. There must have been an update that happened and it caused everything that you were supposed to be able to see before to go away. I can fix that. Doesn't matter at the moment, but this is what you guys can actively see as opposed to what you know to exist. Anyways, so continuing on. Yes, you are orange. I fixed it. Sir, you failed by 1, unfortunately. So that being said, failing by 1, you're actually going to increase your unrest by 1 immediately. Next thing you're going to do is pay your kingdom's consumption, which for you is a 4.
Yep. 2. Done.
After that is going to be fill any vacant magic item slots. I actually don't know if you have any buildings that create magic items.
I do not.
Monument, park, dance hall. None of these look like,
I
nope.
I'm the
Oh,
only one that
shrine.
does.
Shrine does, doesn't it, or no?
I don't. I think you have to be in
Temple.
temple.
Oh, you are correct. You are correct. Okay, cool.
We have to do that
Wait.
later for my kingdom.
Yeah. And then back to what we were doing, which is after that is going to be modify any unrest. So you don't have any negative modifiers or anything like that. Do you have a royal enforcer?
I do, and I'm not doing the check. No.
You're happy with not doing the check?
Yep.
You don't want Morty to do his job?
Not yet.
Oh, did I not transition? Oh, the scene didn't transition. That was weird. Oh, I know why. Because I had I had my what you call it set up. I got fixed now. Sorry. I got rid of my, what is this called? Edit view. Studio mode was on. That was why. So back to you. I'm sorry. So after that, we were done with the upkeep phase. Woohoo! Now you go to the edict phase, assigning leadership. You have no new leaders to assign. We skip that. Now you're going to either claim or abandon hexes. Are you intending on claiming any of these hexes nearby?
Yes, I am.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Which hex were you claiming?
That one.
Ah, that's right. You were grabbing the hill. So you're going to copy.
Yep.
Or actually, we're going to copy this one. Copy, and we're going to paste this guy over here because this already has a slightly enhanced view for what a typical thing gets. We just remove that from the hill. Boom. Cool. So you spend one, and again, we're worried about the actual exploration aspect of this. Again, this is the soft roll. Moving forward, you have to actually explore areas before you can just take them. Continuing on. So you claim that hex for yourself, increasing both your your size by 1 on your spreadsheet and your control DC by 1 on your Roll20 character sheet. I'll take care of the spreadsheet.
Okay, so you just want me to do it on the character sheet?
Make it a control DC of 30, and then we'll keep pushing forward. So after he's done doing that, the next thing he's going to do is his terrain improvements. The maximum terrain improvements he can do is 2. I believe, Jake, you and I discussed beforehand, one of the terrain improvements you wanted to do is to start preparing this hex, which you know would be prepared, what is it, 2 months?
I believe so for Hill.
Yeah, so you would not be able to use it now. You would not be able to use it next turn, but it would be the turn after that, correct?
Yep.
So a good way of signaling this, which I don't think we did on would be like that, meaning one more turn. So I think you actually did the same thing over here. We actually did it with a color on you. And we do that with a color on you as well. Kind of like whitewashing this a bit. There we go. Cool. All right. And now the next terrain improvement you wanted to do. Did you have any more?
Yep, I want to. So I start claiming that now, and then I can build my farm, right?
You can build a farm. You claim that, and you start enhancing it. You can build a farm not on the hill, though.
No,
Months,
not on the hill.
sorry. Months only take 1 month to prepare. That's what I thought. Hills take 1 month, not 2.
Okay, gotcha. So it's prepared next month is good. Thank you. My apologies.
Okay.
Jake, continue.
Yeah. All right, so I'll build a farm there.
Okay, so the one immediately behind it. Jake's idea, just so everybody understands the strategy he's going for here, so everybody can kind of be cued in. So the idea is that Jake never wants to have, for safety purposes, because the thing we discussed before the campaign started, he never wants to have his front line, his front real estate, to have things that are easily raided and destroyed. No towns, no farms, no anything like that. So Jake's mindset right now is to claim this hex right here, and then build it as a either a fort or a watchtower up there.
I'll probably start out as a watchtower and then possibly be upgraded to a fort.
Later on, gotcha. To really defend the area, which also allows him to build 2 farms immediately behind it. So he can kind of like keep to that mentality because it's not directly on the border. You know what I'm saying? All right, cool.
Yep.
So Jake...
So a farm is 3?
Actually, it only costs 2, I think, to make, but I can check for you in 1 second.
Yep.
So where were we? Farms. Oh, that didn't open where I wanted it to. Clicking right here. So a farm on the plains is 2. Yep. So you spend your 2, and then don't forget to add on your spreadsheet that you have 1 more fertile farm added to you.
I did. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. All right. After that, you're done with the terrain improvements. We're now going to do either create a settlement or do any buildings, so on and so forth. I'm assuming you're not creating settlements, so you just want to do buildings.
Yep, and I'm going to start building a jail.
Building a jail in your home?
Yes.
Where? I didn't actually set this up so that viewers can see it. Pulling it up right now for you guys. 1 moment.
You're building a jail.
Yeah.
That takes 2 months, 7 PP per month.
And he's putting it right here next to his garrison, as everybody can see.
Yeah, I am.
Cool. And then incomplete. And I don't know if you want to put incomplete, one more month or something like that on there. Any markers that you need to make sure you don't forget the important details of where it is, where it's going, blah, blah, blah. Cool. After that, it's going to be creating any armies, which clearly you're not doing at the moment. Issuing any edicts, which you're not doing at the moment. Wait, sorry, my apologies. Are you issuing any edicts at the moment?
No, I'm not going to issue any edicts at the moment.
And did you spend the 7 BP that was just mentioned by...
I'm going to do it now.
Thank you, sir.
There we go.
Perfect. No issuing of edicts, meaning we're moving on to the next phase. Next phase is actually going to be the income phase.
With the edicts, am I able to change my holiday edict?
Yeah.
Even though I don't actually get the thing for it because I don't have a counselor, but I want to change it from semi-annual to quarterly.
Oh, you would have had it at quarterly originally, in theory. So,
Yeah.
So from semi-annual, where were you? That didn't affect stability or anything like that. So quarterly. So that means that if it was quarterly beforehand, remove one more from your BP because your consumption would have been one higher originally. Because that's where
Then I would have made my DC for the
no,
check
not for the stability check. No, not for the stability check.
Oh no, it's loyalty and economy.
Correct. Correct. So either way, you so you spend the one more BP or whatever it is, so you're cleared up there because that's we had discussed that before and it was just never changed on the sheet.
Yeah,
Continuing on. So the other thing that's going to be paid at this point is your armies. The armies actually all have a consumption, and they get paid consumption every week of being active. All of you guys have had an army active for a week, except for Nick's army, but he's still going to pay that anyways because it would have been active for a week by the time things are said and done in his kingdom. So why don't you go ahead and everybody pay the BP required for your armies? I believe Tessel, did you give yours all ranged weapons, correct?
I think I only gave my elites, and then we kind of paid for the ranged weapons together with Jake's army. It's kind of weird.
We did.
Yeah, but that's for the maintenance of it. He might be the one paying the maintenance for it. So back to you then, Tessel. So there was 1 BP for your primary army, 1 BP for your elites, and then 1 more BP for the increased consumption of having the archery for your elites. So 3 BP total is what you're spending. To you, Nick, you only had the 1 army of the people that are defending of about 200, so same as everybody else. So it's only going to be 1 BP you're paying for consumption because you didn't raise the secondary unit. You were kind of the one that got the shit kicked out of you. And then to you, Jake, you also raised 2 armies, including elites. So again, 1, and then for the 1, so it's 3 BP total.
Yep.
For the week of consumption for maintaining them. Cool. Now we're going to go back to the last phase. Make withdrawals from your treasury. You're not doing that. Make a deposit. You're not doing that. And then sell expensive items. You're not doing that. Collect taxes. Roll me that check, sir.
Tax collection. Okay.
It is the first week before the shit show. You are correct, but we're just kind of getting it out of the way for everybody.
Because my economy went up, I'm just changing it on the sheet.
Yep, you're good. You are correct, though, Anno. Again, it's just getting it out of the way for the sake of simplicity so we don't have to numbers manage, and then time's going to kind of fold together moving forward. But you are correct.
That's done. Tax.
And he's going to be rolling this right now.
I stuffed this up. I actually put it on minimal by accident.
Oh, then probably it's a good thing that you're re-rolling because that wasn't a very good die roll there, sir.
Well, the die roll was a 13.
I didn't change
it. was pretty good.
Oh, no,
It
it's just
wasn't
the
a good
divisor.
die roll, but it was, yeah.
Yeah, you have it set up over here as normal, but you did divide it by 5 instead of 3. Ouchies.
Yeah.
That would have been good for you, too.
No, maybe they'll roll 20 this time.
Yeah, here's the open.
That's not that bad.
BP.
Yeah, it's not that bad. So, and anyways, my apologies. So you get 7 more BP right now, kind of going into all of this. All right, cool.
Yeah.
So that finishes up your first kingdom roll. It gets all the soft kingdom roll out of the way for everybody before shit kind of hits the fan. Okay. So taking into account the fact that shit hit the fan, taking into account the fact that this military thing all transpired, how does this end for all of you with the rules and everything kind of at bay? First and foremost, your nations were attacked. You guys were put in harm's way. This completely affected all of you guys and shook up the stability for each of your kingdoms. So all of your kingdoms, due to the experience that you just had there, I'm going to go back over to the map for everybody. I got to get this out of my way. All of your kingdoms, because of what had transpired, the fact that you were ransacked and there was a bit of a war, everybody is going to be taking a hit to your stability of a -1 for the event that happens. Sorry, not -1, -2. But this is a temporary -2 for right now. This will go away with time. Your upcoming month after you roll your upkeep phase, if you fail the phase, that's going to fade away by 1. If you, I'm sorry, I'm saying stability. I'm doing this wrong. It's unrest would go up by 2 from this. This makes so much more sense. I'm so sorry. So this is Jake's goes up a bit more, and then Nick's goes to here. There we go. So you have 4, 3, 2 for stability between your kingdoms. So your unrest goes up a little bit, and you guys can of course fight against your unrest for what had transpired here. That's just from the assault that happened against your thing, the fact that people thought you were dead. Again, keeping it a little bit soft on that one. However, there was combats. There was battles that were fought and that were... Oh, Jake didn't roll for events. Jake, roll me. Ask somebody to roll a D100 for you and tell them what's bad, up or down.
Summon Snake can roll. And he can roll high is bad.
It's Ultimate Battle, not Ultimate War. I think I was looking in the wrong spot.
What are you looking for?
Aftermath of the armies, just victory and whatnot.
I'll go look as well.
If he's not here at the moment, Zalamos.
You said Summon Snake? Oh, Summon Snake. Oh, that's too bad. Mr. Amden would have given you a natty 1 when high was bad. That would have been amazing. Zalamos give you a 45. Nothing bad happens to you because it was only 25% chance. That means 75% chance next time. We got to put a little marker on your character sheets, your kingdom sheets for that moving forward. All right. So, anyways, back to the game. Winning battles. It's not Ultimate Battle. Which book is it?
Ultimate Campaign.
I'm trying to look at which book. Ultimate Rulership. This is nope. Which book is this one here? That's just a really cool picture. Ultimate War. Ultimate Battle. I don't think I have Ultimate Campaign open. Do you see it, sir? If you have Ultimate Campaign open?
I have it open. I'm looking through it right now.
Thank you so much. And this is the aftermath of the battle that happened for all of you. I thought we pinned where those all those links were.
No, you didn't. I'll repost them so you can pin them.
It's all good. I can eventually find them. Oh yeah, actually repost them all at once. I'll pin it afterwards because I'm a dummy.
Yeah. Ultimate
Campaign. Here we go. I'm opening it now. All right, here we go. Ultimate Campaign, Aftermath of Battle. So here's downtime, war, reputation, retirement, kingdom, attacking, mass combat, army statistics, victory, page 239. Here we go. Victory, defeat, victorious. If your army is the last one left, you're victorious on the battlefield. You can attempt a loyalty check against your kingdom's control DC if you're successful. Your army learns a new tactic and morale increases by 1. If army, we're not worried about that basic stuff for this. So we're just going to do the other aspect of what it is when you win this kind of a thing, which is you guys are going to gain 1 fame for defeating a much larger group, forming a union between the 3 of you, and showing a degree of mercy. For what had happened. You never hunted down or killed anybody. You never, you are handing the surrendered soldiers back to where they came from, as well as messages back. You never broke any laws whatsoever. For that, all of your characters are going to gain an events increase of fame. So if you go to, on your spreadsheet, go to fame, events, increase it by 1. Cool. That'd be for each of you. You guys got that, which I think gets your total fame for each of you up to a 1. Woohoo! Yay! All right.
Where do you put that? In just the base?
Nope. Events.
Events, I have there.
Okay.
Thank you.
And then I think that's everything for that I wanted to go over right here. So then before I do the actual vote for how the hype train was spent, I'm going to drop this over here real quick. We go here, drag and drop you over here. And I want to show something off to you guys that Celsior worked on. Cell actually did a really, really, really good job of making sure that the each of the kingdoms had their own flag. He made every one of these flags based off of the requests of each of the different PCs involved in the situation. So it started off with Cell, obviously, as you guys know, creating them as he saw fit. Creating his own as he saw fit. Very much inspired by maybe like a Japan or Bangladesh, right? And then Jake kind of gave suggestion for his, and we talked about, I helped with like the color of blue or whatever. And then Jake kind of decided what he wanted. I think that was actually the original image that Jake sent over to him. And then I was like, if we want to stick with the Asian theme, what you could really do is, I really like the idea of like the South Korean flag as like an inspiration. And then when he asked Nick gave colors of what he wanted, and then more or less just said he wanted a claw and gave an example of a picture. And I was like, you know what, why don't we, continuing, I actually posted this image to Celsior of different flags that are actually from Asian nations, just kind of trying to be inspired by them. And I personally like the idea of a couple of them, but he ended up going with Bhutan, right, for a flag. So this is actually the inspirations for each of the flags, kind of sticking with the theme, which I thought was pretty cool, that each of them kind of like went their own way. And just, a little shout out to Cell for what it was that he had done for all of the different kingdoms. And totally in no way am I trying to favor the vote for how it is you guys are going to choose to elect your hype train to be spent. In no way am I trying to do that. As Jake is sitting there and tapping his foot right now, trying not to be...
Get out of it. Cell deserves it. What are you talking about?
Yeah. Fat chance, though. Not gonna lie.
The Dentro flag is pretty dope.
Yeah, that one came out really good. I was pretty happy with that one. It took a while to get the measurements to make like the divisions of the thing even. I had to do math, and I don't like doing math. I don't.
Oh, you picked a bad major.
I know. It's the L I have to take.
All right, here we go. And you guys are going to put up a 2-minute thing here. As always, I'm going to allow Daelric Pop to be influenced at 500 per. You guys are welcome to vote. It's a 2-minute vote for you. So if you want to just blow up who gets the hype train, who gets the benefit of it, we all know where it should go. That person already got a vote. Oh, multiple votes. That's nice. Oh, that's actually the correct person is winning the votes. That's what matters. All right, here we go. All right, so anything else? Because after this vote is finished, we're going to go into a break. Anything else you guys feel like you want to cover before we take a quick break?
I think the flags are cool. I like them a lot.
Yeah.
I spent time on them. I was pretty satisfied with all of them when I finished.
I currently have your faces covered. Job. Oh, you know what I thought might be really cool too for this stream? And chat, please give your opinion on this one. I also was thinking, like, right now I have the flags completely covering their faces so we can really showcase them for a moment. Another thing I thought might be cool is if we actually keep the flags to each of the nations kind of in the top corner for each of them. So you always can kind of like see the representation of them up like that. If you want to just...
Yeah, I think that's good.
It's a little small, but I don't know if you guys like the idea of kind of like having that right there, so you kind of could always remember almost a feel of who they are and whatnot. So, okay, cool. You guys like the idea? Awesome. Love the warg orc design. Warg.
I'm assuming he meant war.
Well, war, yeah, because it says warg. I don't know. They're Australian, so it could be anything.
I feel bad. I called Viking Magoo a New Zealander by accident.
Whoa, you called him a Kiwi?
Hey,
Yeah.
it only works the other way around, all right?
Yeah,
You
it
call
does.
them Australian.
Yeah,
I'm sorry,
he's
dude.
from Victoria, man. They have the best beer. You know this. Come on now.
Yeah, me, the legal drinking age individual, knows
I'm just
about
busting.
Victorian beer.
I'm busting Jake's balls over here.
Is it good? I just don't know.
Oh no, who did you go all in
It's-
for
it's
with
not.
the 8
Wait.
votes?
Did Ano like be nice to me for once?
No. He could have been anything. He could have put 8 votes onto Scott. You know what I mean? You notice that Kushibashi got nothing.
I know goose egg, guys. Come on.
Yeah, seriously. Not even Nick. You didn't even vote for yourself, did you?
I didn't.
Yeah. Wow. Ouch. All right, cool. So why don't we go ahead and take our break, and when we come back, we will be able to kind of keep things going. I'm just trying to find where that is that I want to. Where are you? Do I have that? I don't know. All right. Well, anyways, we'll be right back. That'd be cool, actually, as maybe those as a part of the away screen I set up for this campaign. So, all right, we'll be right back, everybody. See you in just a few minutes.